Well, we should start class off by looking at the updated version. Oh, I've deleted. Oh no, we're okay. It just doesn't have the funny. It doesn't have the funny colors anymore. Oh. There. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Isn't that kind of like an interestingly decent game?
Yeah. I feel like it was plagiarized off my game, but
Now, what's going to be funny is if that's what you turned in as your like final thing, we did that in like 30 minutes. That was with instruction. Let's write this method here, you idiots.
Instead of making it in game cell, and then making all this code that does nothing, and then just like submitting both.
Okay. Now, first of all, everybody realizes you need to be better programmers than that.
Yeah. I think I do.
So what? How many of you are applying for jobs?
Not anymore.
You got a job?
Yeah.
Where?
Okay.
Oh, cool. Good pay?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Very good.
It is
Completely covered healthcare, like zero copay, zero deductible.
Awesome. Well, they are in the health industry. So, worst case, they would just like fudge your medical record. No, that's cool. All right. So besides Mark, the rest of you looking for job? Well, Joey's got a job.
Yeah.
He's overpaid.
Overpaid, underworked.
Yeah. Anybody else got a job?
Money.
So no?
No.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to write a public static string. We'll call it remove if. Just got to take a string s as a parameter. Start off with our new string we're going to build, answer. All right, so we need to build up answer. Where's the first occurrence of if? Yes, you do. Tell me exactly where the first occurrence of this if is. This is the first occurrence of if.
Sure is.
So, we'll start off with a while. So while, actually, we're going to do this as a do. Say int pos is equal to s dot index of if, while pos is not equal to -1. What are we going to do? If we're in here, pos is equal to some number, correct? So it'll be a number between 0 and length minus 2, because if is 2 characters. Okay, so if pos is not equal to 0, what am I going to do with pos? I need to add on to answer everything up to but not including pos, then tack on 2 asterisks, then do what? Get the substring from pos plus 2 to the end. That make sense? So I'm going to say answer plus equals s dot substring 0 to pos. That's everything up to but not including pos. Then answer plus equals asterisk, asterisk. Then we'll say S is equal to S dot substring pos plus 2. Huh? I don't mean answer. I'm going to update S to, after I've used S up here, I'm going to update S to be whatever it is immediately following that if. So I'm going to add to answer everything up to, but not including the if. Then I'm going to tack on the 2 asterisks. Then I'm going to update S to be everything after the if. Then I'm going to say pos is equal to the next version of this. Very end, answer plus equals S, in case there's anything left in S. And then return answer. Will that do it? A, B, C, well, I didn't spell that right, but that's fine. If, here we'll do 2 ifs there. Then we'll do system.out.println driver.remove if, I probably need to give this a variable name, right? Call it new, like Jamber. Don't do this in Epic, by the way, Mark. We'll use the, is that the French? We'll assume it is. New. All right. So there's the first if replaced, second if, third if. If it starts with an if, actually that'll be interesting. What if I put 3 F or 2 Fs there?
Whoa. Can't believe it.
Easy saying.
All right, that makes sense?
Does mine work?
I want to say yours was embarrassing, wasn't it? Did it make the embarrassing pile? They see, non-embarrassing is Joey, Scott, Carrie, no name, Jake, Jamber. Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's everything that made a non-embarrassing pile. Here, let's look at Tina's.
You follow my annotations. That's very important.
Your annotations.
Pretend all that stuff in the bracket is where the error goes.
All right, you're comparing chars to strings using dot equals. It's problematic to begin with. So you're calling methods on chars. But let's assume that, I mean, I get what you're trying to say there. Okay, so then you're trying to set buckets of answer equal to an asterisk as a string. You said this. Answer is a string. You wrote answer dot char at I is equal to F. Well, first of all, this is a char. Secondly, strings are read-only, so you can't replace a bucket of a string this way. This boils down to the character at bucket I. But even if you could do it this way, you're putting in there a string. So, I mean, at the very least, it should have been that. But as it stands, you tried to say this. Let's just say it's B. This is essentially what you wrote. We can't do that. That won't work. What happened with your assignment?
I overcomplicated.
What do you mean? You didn't do anything.
Exactly. I was like,
Public string blah, string S, opening curly brace. Oh, you used the variable name new as well. String new equals the empty string. String I equals if. And then you just have an if s dot index of I, nothing,
Yep.
then blah dot add.
Yep.
You did that in 5 minutes? I'm not even sure that's USB 1 compatible. I mean, like, voltages was better. I mean, voltage was using equals methods and passing it strings like you're supposed to.
I just always forget about index of and char at.
He concatenated on 2 asterisks. I mean, for no good reason, but I mean, what he wrote here is significantly more competent than.
There's a hint of complex thought.
Oh, I don't know if I'd say that.
Not that far.
I feel bad.
I don't even know what Beaker was doing. Huh?
I looked at Skip and like it's conceptually there. The syntax is just awful.
Well, Fritz just made crap up, but at least he looped through a string. I mean, his had a loop in it, Simon. He's in 300. Let's see, Skip. Skip, you did not spell the word length right.
Oh, yeah. Mark pointed that out earlier.
Okay.
I was in a rush. I was rushed.
All right. We'll pretend like it's spelled right. Okay. I have a complaint. You spelled it wrong twice, but different wrong.
What was the second?
First time he spelled it L-E-N-G-H-T. The next time he spelled it L-E-N-G-H-T-H. Don't you graduate like in 3 weeks?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Carrie, do you agree with that? That he should have graduated in 3 weeks? You can't spell the word length.
Wait, what?
Well, I can spell length.
Yeah, well, I can spell that. I mean, pretty sure I learned how to do that in like 1st grade. Well, there's not a good speller, then there's this. I mean, it'd be one thing if you misspelled it one place. It would even be another thing if you misspelled it both places, but the same way.
You can't even spell it.
I mean, it's like he's just throwing letters.
GHT is a common grouping of letters.
Huh?
GHT is a common grouping of letters.
What about GHTH? Is that a common grouping? Maybe in the old Greek, Baker?
Yeah.
But if you're looking at like the 8th number, so it does exist. It's not common.
Oh, okay. There are words that could be found. Okay, I'm. See now, Skippy. This is why he has a job. All right, so let's look past the. Hold on. We need to look past the spelling. All right, okay. Skippy, your logic isn't absolutely horrific. I mean, you're going to run it. You might have some runtime exceptions where you try to look at char at. I mean, nobody's char at, but let's just assume you picked somebody's char at. When you look at I+1, what if there isn't an I+1?
Yeah.
So I mean, you could have some crash bugs at runtime, but. And then you also jump ahead an extra time every single time you concatenate on a character. So when you don't find an IF, you actually increment I twice. But, I mean, yours is way more right than Simon's. In fact, actually, Simon?
What?
We have to find out who's the, okay, Tyler, you're definitely not the worst in the class. Simon's in running. Voltage, you're fine. I mean, you're way better than Simon's.
Just make sure everyone knows. It's way better than Simon.
I mean, Beaker.
I'm pulling people out of the hallway.
Beaker, yours is pretty bad, but I'm going to put it, we're going to have to look at that.
I assumed that the index of was doing strings and put it into an array. I misjudged what the method actually did. If that would have actually happened, it would work fine.
No, I mean, I think you have the lead on Simon. I'm just saying, I think yours is better than his. I'm saying yours is worse than his, Simon. Okay, yeah. That's how bad yours is.
I'm just trying to stay positive.
This is all recorded. This is every. I mean, Fritz's doesn't do anything, but it's way better than those. And Skippy's better, so it's between Simon and Beaker's.
Brandon Dane is not here.
Or Ali.
Or
He-
Ian. Or Ian.
Ali texted me. He's got a job interview. All right. Well, so right off the bat, we can say Beaker's is better because he has a loop, and he spelled length correctly. Although he's taking the length of an array that doesn't have anything in it, but it is a loop, Simon. Why does yours not even have a loop? Did you have a rough night yesterday? Tell me about it. I mean, this is really crap.
I was fixing database connections.
You know, you probably would have done better in this had you helped me move and came and eat wings with us.
Those are running the programs.
But then again, Beaker helped me move and came and ate wings. And
Even slightly better.
all right, so here's a reasonable answer. Now, why didn't everybody just do it this way?
I'm telling you, man, my answer is still like simpler conceptually.
Simpler than this?
No, like the code that you write ends up being easier, but when you think about the problem, you're just like, oh, I go through, and if I see this, I do that. It's like
What is
the
Joey's
simplest
look
way to think of how to solve the problem.
You really think it's simpler than this?
No, like if you have all this, like,
If you don't know about index of,
yeah, like
you've kind of built index
you
of
just,
into
like,
yours.
Think like, oh, this is how if I was looking at this string, this is how I would do this. Like,
All right,
based
so-
on something.
We'll call this guy remove if 2.
Remove it.
All right, we're going to do this because you guys obviously need programming practice. So you wanted to walk through this one character at a time. So we're going to create our string answer.
It's like a really human way to do it.
Now, Simon, pay attention. This is a loop. We're going to write a loop here. And Skippy, pay attention. This is how you spell length.
At least it automatically does it for you, I guess.
Yeah, that's what.
I could have closed my eyes and typed it with my knuckles and been closer than Skippy got. All right, so we're gonna, huh? What's wrong?
I don't know if length is like your thing here. Yeah. It's not exactly proper. It doesn't fit in with our grammar.
You shouldn't have the parentheses.
Well, I mean,
Sure I could.
Have them there.
you got your no. Your thing. It's not, it doesn't fit with the grammar of a for loop.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Oh, God, this is all right.
Dot length is not a method.
Yeah, it is. All right. He was complaining I didn't have a Boolean expression in there yet. I was still in the process of making fun of Skippy. All right.
I just didn't know.
No, I got. We're with you. Okay, so Joey wants to walk through one character at a time. If s.charat I is equal to an I or U, if it's equal to an I, we might have found an if. Correct?
Is it possible?
So then he's going to ask if I is less than s dot length minus 1. That means we have another character.
Couldn't you just incorporate that into the top by saying it's less than s dot length minus 1?
No, we got to do it this way because we're only saying. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. You want to do it. You want to do this. That way, we know we always have at least one extra character.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But actually, let me do it this way. Because we're going to Joey's most logical way of going about this.
Right.
So we're going to say if we're looking at an I, then as long as we have another character, so if I is less than s dot length minus 1, and s dot char at I plus 1, what's up?
I couldn't remember how to make an ampersand when I was writing this.
If that guy is equal, and Tina, pay attention, not dot equals, this is a char over here. Char are primitive types. We're going to use the double equal sign, the primitive type equivalence operator. If that guy is equal to an f, that means we found an if, correct? If we found an if, what do? We say answer plus equals asterisk asterisk. And then we need to make sure we jump ahead an extra one.
Wait, wouldn't you jump ahead 2 then?
We already jumped 1 here.
Oh, okay.
All right. If this else, answer plus equals s dot char at I. And then we'll have a second else answer plus equals s dot char at I. So this one catches a situation where we don't have an f following an I. This one catches a situation where we don't even have an I. And then ultimately we'll return answer. Right?
Yeah.
So now we can call remove if 2. Okay, so you think this one makes...
Yeah, I think that's the more human way to think about the problem.
Joey, that's exactly what I did.
Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're doing it on the fly.
That makes more sense.
Because you don't. Yeah.
Maybe I don't think like a human anymore.
No, I think that's exactly what's wrong here. Yeah, like you probably got some sort of
I have issues.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
You know exactly the problem.
Like you don't think like a human.
All right, hold on. Who thinks that this one's easier to follow?
I mean, it's not like
Well,
it's easier to follow.
Who thinks this one's more human?
Yeah.
Come up with.
More
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's like
To come up with, yeah.
what a human would conceptualize.
Like-
because it's more
Like everybody?
human.
And then
After
after
that,
that, like
Volt is like, I don't understand either of them.
What?
I think the first one better.
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
This is like so much better.
I'd say that one's easier to follow.
It's
but
more
if you're-
efficient as well.
If you're logic blocking it, basically, if you're just coming
you
up with it
don't-
on the fly.
Right, didn't know what
Like the
index
other
of
way,
it's
it's
also-
like-
I think that this it does the same thing in the actual execution of the code. Like when you're looking at index of, it still has to go through and check all of those. It's just doing the for loop for you. So the first thing that people naturally think of is basically the conceptualization of the remove if 2, and then remove if, which is what you have highlighted now, is the reduction of that
Yeah.
in the high level code, but it still goes through pretty much the same low level.
See, I actually like Jake's buggy solution.
Yeah.
Public static string remove if 3 string s, and what he does is he creates, and Beaker, this is how we create an array. We're going to say string array AR is equal to s dot split on an if.
If I don't remember that,
Huh?
code will-
Well, no, I mean the split thing. Don't worry about that. I'm just saying this is how we create an array over on this side.
How did I do that wrong?
Huh?
I had string, bracket open, bracket close, and then array. I called it array.
You want to hear something funny? And I seriously have no idea why this just came to my mind. So yesterday I'm at the gym and I was at the sink. I honestly do not know why this just came to my mind, but it's hilarious. So I'm standing there and a piece of lettuce appears to float from my belly button toward in the water. It's in the sink. So like, I'm looking down and like, my and I just see lettuce floating, like away from me, like I was, like I generated lettuce in the sink. I spawned lettuce.
As it was like in
Leave
your
your
belly
flaps.
button, just kind of poking out.
I don't know. That's the problem.
Bro, that's
There's
messed
a
up.
guy that was like, eat your flaps.
Okay, lift your flaps. It's okay, I've do this before. All right, so we're going to split on the if. Then we're going to say for int I is equal to 0, I is less than ar dot length. Skippy, this is how we spell length again, except this is a field. Okay, I plus plus. Now I just said the answer, Skippy, but you can tell me again. Is this a method or a field? What I have highlighted. Don't just stare at me. It's a field. How do you know?
Yes. But, oh, no parentheses stuff.
Okay, what's a field? Define a field for me.
It was like a variable, but general, like the whole,
I'm okay with that.
I don't know.
All right, I'll give you a C minus for that. All right, so we're going to spin through, and we're going to say we need a string answer. Start off as the empty string, and we're going to say answer plus equals,
Length minus one.
huh?
Length minus one. So we can add left.
No, well, this will work. The way I'm, it's fine. I'm taking it into account. So you got this. All right. So answer plus equals AR at bucket I. Then we'll say answer plus equals.
But
Actually, I'm gonna say the minus one. Both of these would have worked the same, but yours is will be one step faster. So we'll tack on that. All right. Then at the end, we'll say if answer dot length is not equal to s dot length, return answer concatenated with otherwise return answer. I think that'll do it, right? So we're going to split S on the string if. So that'll break it up into an array called AR with all the parts that were surrounded by ifs. We're going to go through every bucket of that array, concatenate what's in the bucket on, then concatenate the double quote. Now, this might have a problem with something that starts with an if. Yeah. So we might have to throw an if in there to check to see if it starts with if it has a problem with starting with an if.
Run it on what we have.
Well, I will. I'm actually going to predict this.
Goes to the Super Bowl.
I'm going to predict this will work even if it starts with an if, because I think the first bucket of that array will be the empty string. So we'll concatenate on the empty string, then we'll concatenate on the two asterisks. All right. Then at the very end, if answer and S are the same length, that means we've accounted for every character. If they're not the same length, if they're the same length, we'll just return it. If they're not the same length, then we know that the very last two characters was an if, so we need to tack on an extra asterisk.
If it is with two characters.
Huh?
If it is with two characters.
Then it wouldn't be missing. The only reason it's missing is because it was an if. So this guy, if we call it on remove 3, do we have an if in the middle? Or is that right? No, it looks like it.
There's only two answers.
We had an asterisk here at the beginning. So there's the first one. Fan B. I wonder why that is. Well, in theory, I liked yours.
Wait, with your if statement, answer dot length does not equal s dot length.
Huh?
Your if statement, how would
Because we're building it up here. Anytime we run into an if,
Isn't it even? Here, go back to how many characters do you have right there?
Well, it shouldn't matter.
Not necessarily, because if you do hit it just right and they are broken out perfectly in the middle, then they would.
Oh, hold on. Actually, I think you might be right. We might be skipping the very last one.
There we go.
But does that work in all cases?
Yeah, we sort of checked every like
Yeah.
outlier there.
All right. So this works.
Add a letter after the if on the end.
And if after the letter.
What if they're all ifs?
See?
Yeah.
Told you it was
What if
great.
it's just a bunch of ifs?
That's the whole thing is a bunch of ifs. Then you just have a bunch of empty strings. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Jake here. This might be a buggy solution. It might be wrought with danger. But these other two should work. But this one's garbage.
What?
You're garbage.
No, this is hold on. This is not the solution that a senior computer science programmer should come up with.
Thank you.
This is.
So
You
he
want us
said,
to use whatever language we
and
want.
just
just
saying,
come up with
you're
better
saying about
solutions.
two guys with jobs, and we both wrote it like that.
Yeah. I think that's what I said.
That would have been at like.
Actually, hold on. Did anybody write it this way?
No. Oh.
Yeah, Jake did.
If I would have had a development environment to like check, oh, how do you do index sub again or something like that?
You don't remember index sub by now?
No,
How many
I
times has
haven't
index
used
sub
Java
been?
in like a year.
Who cares?
No, I don't remember all the things. I'm sorry, sir. That makes plenty of sense.
I'm sorry, sir. It makes plenty of sense. No, I'm okay with you not remembering all the things, but index sub, shouldn't that have just been ingrained in your soul by now?
I don't feel like we used it that much.
I think your tangents burn further into our memories.
What's this?
Your tangents burn further into our memories.
Oh, I guess so. If it was something related to something non-programming,
Yeah,
then
exactly. We would know.
we would have known.
The same as Joe.
All right, get out.
Leave me.
There is a decent chance I will give you another quiz similar to this sometime soon, and you should do much more bestest on it.
By using index of.
I'll take a correct solution rather than index of. And realistically, I have nothing wrong with the solution. In fact, this is probably the more programmatically complex solution. This is probably the harder solution to write, in my opinion, because you have to keep track of, whether you need to tack on an extra value on I and stuff like that. So I think this one's the one that's safer. So I might say this one shows more competence. This shows a lot of programming competence to write like that.
It goes more in depth into the logic.
Yeah.
As opposed to having.
Well, you've essentially written your own index of. You've built index of into this rather than using it already built.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's the same. Like I said, it's the same low level code, just
Right.
different high level.